So if you're thinking about moving to the Space Coast, maybe you have a job offer, maybe you're just sick of the cold like we were, maybe you're moving here from family, maybe you're retiring. Today, I'm going to take you along a drive with me. I think you can get a really great idea of what it's like to live here from me taking you along on a drive with me. So let's get going, and I'm gonna go over what I love about living in the Space Coast, what I've learned over the years, what there is to know, and hopefully this is really helpful for you with making the decision to move here. Okay, so we moved here a few years back when we decided we were sick of the cold. Living in the Northeast from Rhode Island, my husband had a few office locations that he could get a new job at. We found this area on accident, I think. Maybe not accident, but it was just meant to be because there was a job that he specifically is really good at. I was open here. So we came down one weekend to see if we liked it, and we absolutely fell in love. I help a lot of people move to the area, and some people had never been here before and think it's such a hidden gem. Some people have family that have grown up here. Some people have been vacationing here for years and they know about it and they love it. So it just depends, but it's just such a hidden gem of Florida. It's not too busy. It has absolutely gotten busier if you were here 20 years ago, for sure, but it's not like where you're gonna get stuck in traffic like crazy. If you go drive down to Miami, go drive into Orlando, Tampa, nothing like that. It's a small town, a feel to it depending on where you live. There's different areas of the Space Coast. There's something for everyone. There's a little bit more rural, more acreage in the north and south, north being Mims, south being like Granville, Caria, Mako, and then it gets a bit more suburban in between. Okay, so let's talk about what I love about living in the Space Coast. So I know some of it's gonna be specific to just Florida and some of it's gonna be specific to the Space Coast. So let's get through general for Florida. So the weather. Of course, the weather is amazing anywhere you are in Florida, but at the same time, it's different. So the winters here are very moderate. So our first winter here, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I loved the colder days, the 50s, 45s sometimes, because I was coming from freezing cold in the Northeast. So that was great. Now, our second and third winter here, I was like, okay, it's cold. You get used to it. You're used to the heat, and then you start getting colder. For example, when I go visit Rhode Island in the summertime to see family at night, I get cold. I gotta wear a jacket because I'm cold, where normally that would have been warm weather for me. So you get adjusted to the temperature a lot. So I know a lot of times people are very nervous about how hot it gets in the summertime, but you just get used to it. And I guess it depends on the person, but we definitely have gotten used to it. If you're living more in North Florida, you're gonna get a more colder summer. And if you're living more in South Florida, you're gonna get a warmer winter, but a way hotter summer. So I feel like being in Central Florida is just the perfect combination of what you can get for weather in Florida, in my opinion. So the weather is just absolutely life-changing for us. Now, the Space Coast has miles of beaches. One of my favorite things about living here, I always wanted to live somewhere by the ocean. I grew up in a town that was landlocked in Connecticut. Then I lived in Newport, Rhode Island that had the ocean. Here it's just so accessible, and you can find areas that are not crowded. If you go to one of the parks, it's gonna be crowded, especially on a weekend or a holiday, but there are definitely some areas, like when I go to Cape Canaveral, that it's not crowded at all. I absolutely love it. So just the access to the beaches here, absolutely amazing. So that is another thing that is just great about the Space Coast. It's also just not really crowded. If you were here maybe even 6 years ago, or you talk to someone who's lived here their whole life, it's gotten more people here for sure. It's definitely become, between the Space Center and just being more affordable than other areas of Florida, a lot of people are drawn to this area. But for the most part, I am driving over to some appointments right now, and I haven't hit that bad of traffic. Now, on the other side, it is a little bit backed up, but it will clear up. It's not like there's an accident or anything like that. It's just people commuting to work right now, but I don't find it an issue at all. So just being on this side of Florida on the East Coast and east of Orlando is also really great, because if you've ever driven to the West Coast, if you ever driven to Tampa from Orlando, it's absolutely miserable. I get heart palpitations just driving on it. And when you got to get into Orlando from where we live on the Space Coast, you take 28 or 192, depending where you live in the Space Coast, and it's not bad at all. Normally because of an accident, but otherwise, if it's just normal work commute, it's not bad at all. Getting to the airport is super easy. When you get into Orlando, getting to Disney or going out to the fabulous restaurants there or seeing something like entertainment, it can get trafficy in Orlando, but just getting there is a breeze. So that's also something that I really love because it's easy to travel and see family, go on vacation. Oh my gosh, we're going on a cruise in a little bit. It's so easy. We just leave our cars at home. We take an Uber because I just don't want to leave my cars parked there, but it's perfectly fine. The Ubers, the same cost, are a little bit less than parking, so that's what we do. Sometimes I even work a couple hours in the day beforehand, and then we just take an Uber and we're on vacation. We get on the cruise ship and that's it. We're on vacation. We don't have any flights to take. We don't have to worry about taking a carry-on. It's awesome. Having the cruise port there just made traveling and exploring different areas so much easier. We absolutely love that aspect of this area. We love that it was able to provide a job for my husband that has been a lot less chaotic than his previous job up in the Northeast. And I love working here more than I did in Rhode Island. So just a little background, if you're new here, my name is Rachel Langley. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Space Coast. I moved here a few years ago and I help families just like you move to the area because I was once in your shoes. I know what it's like moving somewhere, whether you know the area or not, and I help guide people to what area works best for them. A lot of times I have clients that aren't even here during the inspection period, or sometimes we do virtual tours to check out houses. So I definitely am very hands-on, very thorough, because I know how important it is when you're moving across the country to find the right place for you and your family. Okay, so back to the Space Coast. Whether you're looking for something a little bit more rural, I have clients who are retiring and they just want to be on a large piece of land with a pool, and some of those locations are MIMS, has some really great neighborhoods and homes for sale on acreage. You can get your chickens, start a farm if you like, over Mims, which is in the north, and then there's Granville Caria and Nico in the south. Those are the more rural areas. Then you've got Titusville, which is up and coming. When the space industry first started in the 1950s, 1960s, the city commissioners there didn't want to overdevelop the area, so they turned down a lot of opportunities there, and I think they now are seeing how the area could have grown. So now they're trying to develop it more into the potential that it has. It's a great area. There's awesome neighborhoods there. Then there's Cocoa, Rockledge, Melbourne, all of those areas, depending on what you're looking for. You could get something on an acre, you can get something in an HOA neighborhood. That's really beautiful. You can get a more affordable 1960s home. All of those areas have that. Merritt Island is called the boaters capital of Brevard. So if you love to go boating, if you have a boat, that's a nice, more affordable option than living beachside, but you feel like you live beachside because it's so close. And then you've got Palm Bay, which is the largest city by population in Brevard County. It's pretty dense there, lots of homes, lots of still new construction there too. More affordable than a lot of the other areas in Brevard County. A lot of people buying their first homes, or even some retiring and don't want to spend a lot on a home, will look over in Palm Bay because you can get a brand new home for pretty affordable prices down in Palm Bay. But it's interesting because all of the areas we're talking about have both more rural areas, more city feel areas, more suburban, more urban. It's definitely something where I like to sit down with clients and really figure out what they're looking for, where they're going to be working, if they're working, how far away they want to be from the beach, what they can afford, and then we figure out where's the best place from there. And then there's beachside. So there's Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, Indian Harbor Beach, Indialantic, Melbourne Beach, all absolutely beautiful, small beach town feels. If you love to surf, we have amazing surf here. The gold medalist for the Summer Olympics came from Melbourne Beach. We've got Kelly Slater from here, so lots of pretty cool surfing legends here, and the surf is great. We don't have the clear water or the sunset on the beach like the west side has, or like the turquoise water like Miami, but I love what we have here. We're not paying a fortune. Have prices gone up in the past 5 years? Absolutely, just like everywhere in the United States, but it's still a lot more affordable, and I rather take what we have. That is miles and miles of beaches and the Atlantic Ocean and surf and wind. It gets really breezy here. If you fly into Orlando in the summertime, like you're like, oh my gosh, this is miserable. It's so hot. There's no wind. It's humid. But then when you drive over here, you get some of that wind and it's not as bad. So that's also something really great about the Space Coast. So overall, the people here are just so kind. Of course, you get your keyboard warriors. I get people that comment on my videos all the time that I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm talking about. Go back home to the Northeast, whatever. You're always gonna have your keyboard warriors, or I've seen people post on the local Facebook group saying, I'm moving to the area, tell me about it. And people are like, no, don't come here. That is not the max. A lot of people here are actually transplants themselves, and they're very kind, welcoming people. So just don't get too scared of those keyboard warriors. My neighbors, I waved at one of my neighbors. Anytime someone's out, they wave. If we're walking, a lot of times they want to talk to you, see how you're doing, keep an eye on your home when you're on vacation, become your dog sitters. So just really friendly people. And I know not everyone watching this is coming from another colder climate than here, but if you are, it's just life-changing being able to be outside all year round. But yeah, it gets hot in the summertime, but you can still go for a walk in the morning, at night. You can enjoy summertime festivities, 4th of July, fireworks. It's life-changing, it really is. So if you are considering, or you know you're moving to the area, make sure you reach out, because I got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. I was once in your shoes, and I help clients know what to look out for. I can go over insurance. I know insurance can be a really big question mark for a lot of people. The news can scare a lot of people, but overall, you can get insurance. You just have to have certain things in your home that insurance wants to look out for, because they want to make sure your home's safe during any serious storms or hurricanes. So you can absolutely get insurance. And I guide people to the right houses so that they can obtain insurance for a pretty reasonable amount. Our insurance is actually less than it is on our investment property up in Rhode Island. Yeah, I know it's an investment property, but it's still less than what it was when it was our primary home. We have a rental home here that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's in Merritt Island, and we pay $1,800 a year on that one. And then we have a pool home, 1979 home, newer roof, impact windows, PVC piping. Those are the things that insurance likes, not in flood zone. And that one is $2,800. It would be less if we tied down the roof, because I don't know why they didn't do a 3rd nail. Essentially, this is reinforcing the roof down, and there's certain specifications insurance wants to see in order to give you discounts on that. And our pool home did not have that. It's about $1,200 to get fixed. I'm probably gonna do it next year so we can get the insurance down a little bit more, but nonetheless, $2,800 a year is not terrible at all. If you want something less, you could look at new construction. Just this morning, we got a quote on a new construction. It was $1,100. It's about 2,000 square foot home, brand new, and it's $1,100 per year for insurance. Not bad at all. Now, you might be wondering about flood insurance. So what I tell people is, unless you find a home that is on the river that you absolutely love and you can afford it, go for it. But otherwise, let's just avoid the houses that are in flood zones, because that flood insurance can get pretty pricey. However, when you're not in a flood zone, I still elect to pay for flood insurance, because you never know. Mother Nature, she's a beast. As much as this area predominantly has not had any serious issues in the past, just like North Carolina with Hurricane Helene had never had what they had happen. You just want to protect yourself. Our flood insurance on our home now, I have it pretty low on personal property, because I'm like, we can just get some wafer furniture and be fine. We pay $750 a year additional on top of that $2,800 a year. And that gives me peace of mind when we get that 1-off, 2-off hurricane every year. That usually ends up just being a tropical storm and we're fine, but that protects us and makes me feel comfortable. I always recommend to my clients is to purchase the flood insurance. You usually pay for it fully when it renews, and it just protects you, protects your home. So it's usually under $1,000 depending on what kind of coverage you're looking for with that. Going back to you moving here, I got your back, so make sure you reach out. My information's on the screen right here. If you like what in this video and you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like button so YouTube knows to send you notifications when I post new videos, usually every single week. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Rachel Langley, and I'll see you on the next one.